The Imperial Palace of Goslar. UNESCO World Heritage Site. At the foot of Mount Rammelsberg rises one of the most outstanding sights of the Harz Mountains, the Kaisersal Goslar. When you look at this historic building, it is as if you are following in the footsteps of history. Henry III of the Salian dynasty, one of the most educated monarchs of his time, had not yet worn the insignia of the Roman Emperor of the German nation when he ordered the completion of the Imperial Palace in Goslar in 1040. It was built on the foundations of the first palace, which had already been erected here in 1005 by King Henry II of Otton. A few years later, Henry III put an end to the so-called Papal Schism, and with it the dependence of the Pope on the Roman nobility. The heart of the monarch was buried in the Palatine Chapel of St. Ulrich under a tombstone. European history was written in the Imperial Palace of Goslar for more than 2 centuries. The legendary imperial and court days took place here. Walking through the spacious halls of the building, it is worth taking a closer look at the impressive paintings on the walls, because they tell the story of this complex, which was included in the UNESCO World Heritage List, especially in the Great Kaisersal. The square in the south of the city is 340 meters long and 180 meters wide. The Kaisersal Goslar is considered the best preserved secular building of the 11th century on German soil. When Henry III died in Goslar in the late summer of 1056, Pope Victor II stayed at the Imperial Palace for a few weeks as a guest of the German monarch. In later years, today's tourist attraction was repeatedly the scene of disputes between the noble authorities of the time. However, a glorious event took place there in July 1219, when the imperial diet was held in the Palatinate during the reign of Frederick II. Almost half a century later, William of Holland was the last German king to stay here. During a long period of history, the Goslar Imperial Palace fell into disrepair and was restored only in 1879 thanks to the initiative of Emperor Wilhelm I. Today, the building reappears as a magnificent monument. Today, the building is again an outstanding example of German Romanesque architecture. The building ensemble of the Imperial Palace was used, first of all, by the Salic emperors as a favorite residence, and even shortly after the completion of its construction, it impressed contemporaries so much that the chronicler Lampert von Gersfeld spoke of the most famous residence of the empire. For more than 200 years, German history was made in the Imperial Palace during numerous imperial meetings and court councils. All the walls of the Aula Regia, the Imperial Hall with an area of almost 800 square meters, are decorated with scenes telling the history of the Holy Roman Empire. An hourly guided tour allows visitors to view and appreciate the paintings, as well as learn about the fascinating history of the imperial castle over the centuries. The exhibition in 7 vaults on the ground floor showcases outstanding works of art. Hardly any other government facility closely related to the political events of the Middle Ages has survived in the same condition as the Imperial Palace in Goslar. Although structurally it was restored in the second half of the 19th century, the medieval structure of the building is still clearly visible in many places. The eastern facade of the hall shows the oldest masonry in the middle part, and in the northern part you can still see some structural relics from the time of the famous Emperor Frederick I Barbarossa. The Palatine Chapel of St. Ulrich dates, in fact, to the last third of the 12th century. But not only architecture, but also modern decoration allow the Imperial Palace to plunge into the past. The exhibition in the vaults of the Winter Hall will take you back to the times of wandering kings and emperors. The Imperial Hall brings the history of the Middle Ages to life like a grand theatrical performance, thanks to impressive historical frescoes. If you liked this video, please like and thank you for your subscription.